Hello viewers and welcome to another Doctor Who episode review. Today I'm reviewing Can You Hear Me? This will contain some spoilers. So, Can You Hear Me? Overall, it's a good episode overall. I'd put it above average, yeah. There's things that I've liked and there's things that could have been done better. Well, there's one main thing anyway. So let's try and remember what happened in the story, because I've only seen it once and it's been nearly a week since I last saw it. So we've got the whole thing. Well, the whole episode's based around mental health. That was the message, subtly done in a way. The last 10 minutes kind of been more about it. I thought it were well done the way they did it. They didn't overdo it too much. They could have done, but they didn't go too far with it. So yeah, that aspect were really well done. And I liked how they linked that, which is relevant now, to the Zelin the god, whoever he is, because we don't know exactly who he is. But anyway, I like how that links to the nightmares that he's taking from humans and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so we get the whole thing with Ryan's friend and Jazz's sister, and there was a few little things going on with a little appearance of the dregs, and I like the idea of a fear being like at the end of the world, and because nobody's sorted out like the world with it burning down and the humans looking like the dregs. I liked that idea actually, even though it's Orphan 55-fied. I didn't mind that bit. I thought Yaz's character in this were really well done again. She had like her own 10-minute character development at the end with the police officer, and that were done really well. I did at the time think it was quite a long sort of 10 minutes, but I have rewatched only that little bit though. For some reason, I don't know why I've done that, but I've rewatched that last 10 minutes, and I do think it's the sending the right message out there, and it's not dragged like I first thought. So after a rewatch, I thought, yeah, that's good. And we've got Graham with his cancer fear, which, God, yeah, wow. And then he fears about himself, obviously, getting the cancer again, and seeing Grace tell him, and she's already dead, and there's all these things going on in his mind with the cancer and with Grace as well. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if we saw that frog Grace, but we didn't get to see that, which I'm glad, because I don't want to see it ever again. But we would have done if Ed Heim had written the episode, so thankfully he hasn't. So he's got that with the cancer thing, and the Doctor. I thought we get to see this. The Doctor's sort of fear is the timeless child, and we got to see just a little bit more of that, where the Doctor's actually there, stood at this sort of castle-y, sort of grey building, just looking at this timeless child. Who is it? Why is she a fear? Why is she buried in all our memories? Why is everything a lie? You can tell that's the main thing of the Doctor. And I liked how we got to see more of the timeless child, even though we don't get much information. I'm glad we saw more of it. And then we get Zelin were played really well. I liked his references to the Eternals, the Guardians, and the Toymaker. I love them references, and I just really want to know more about him, really. But I don't think we'll ever get to see that because he's been flung into a ball. But I would have liked to got to know more about him. If he says he's a god of stuff of legend, but what sort of species is he? Because he's obviously not human. So I would have liked to have known that, but it's obvious that we're not gonna know because he's trapped. And yeah, I liked that idea of the dreams and the mental health. What else to say about the episode? It was quite creepy, the episode, I thought. There's some creepy elements, and that creature at the start, that big massive bear furry thing at the start, I thought that was pretty scary. And there's just there's two things that bugged me with this episode. Number one is how the Doctor solved everything with working stuff out. That must mean this, that, and the other. And this, well, I'm sat there thinking, how does she know that? I mean, she hasn't come across this before. How is she suddenly getting all this? And she's pointing a screwdriver all the time, getting this information. I just, sometimes when she's explaining stuff and talking and using a screwdriver, I think she jumps to the right conclusions too quickly, and she's not. We can't see her working stuff out like a proper doctor. That's the main flaw I've got with her, with Jodie Whittaker. Not her, but her doctor. So yeah, that's one massive downfall. And the way she traps Zellin and the girl, I can't remember what she's called, but the way she traps them in the ball, they can't die because they're immortal, but they can be trapped in this ball. Yes, finished, problem solved. Yes, which I thought, what? Is that it? Yeah. And the other main thing is, when Graham, Ryan, and Yaz were off, home, and the Doctor's alone, and she lands on, I can't remember where it is. Is it Syria 1300s? I've forgotten where it is, but in that sort of place. I hated that bit when she came out and she acted as if her friends were still there with her, which is just, no, they're not with you. Stop pretending and all this sort of stuff. Stop pointing your screwdriver. Stop this, stop that. It just annoys me a bit. The Doctor's supposed to know these things, whether she's got her friends or not. And even in Fugitive of the Jadoon, she only noticed that Graham went. But I that's not too bad because they met each other again and there were a solution to it all. But yeah, it's the only flaw I've got with the 13th Doctor. So yeah, I want them to be improved for future episodes, and I hopefully for the finale especially, hopefully she doesn't work it out like in the matter of seconds, from not knowing how it all works to knowing how it all works in a matter of seconds. That's not what I want to see. I want a screwdriver to be destroyed, and I don't want her to get another one. Yeah, so what else to say about this episode? Yeah, we get the controversial ending with the Doctor and Graham, with him saying how he's actually fearing the cancer still, how it's always in his mind, that it could come back one day. I really felt for Graham in that scene. I thought he played that part really well. But then you get the Doctor's reply, which has been controversial, as she doesn't know what to say. And she just basically says, right, I should say something very reassuring now. I'll think of what I'm going to say, and I'll tell you when I'm ready. I thought that wasn't the right response. I don't know if that was for comedic effect, because it's not really that funny. But I found it funny at the time, but actually rewatching the ending, like I said I did, I thought, God, you really harsh. God. And obviously, that wasn't supposed to be the message. Apparently, from the BBC, they say that the Doctor's representing, like, us, like, not knowing what to say when your friend or someone in your family's got cancer, like, oh, I don't know what to say and all that sort of stuff. Apparently, the Doctor's representing us being like that. But I wish she said something more. Like, she could have easily had her own 13th Doctor speech, which would have been better than the environmental speeches that we've had. I mean, that could have been her moment, but that obviously didn't happen, and that was maybe not the best way to go about it. So overall, I think I've covered every bit of the episode. Overall, it was an average good episode. You know, some good bits, some bad bits. I can't wait for the next episode with Mary Shelley and in 1816 in the haunting of Villa Diodati. Because it looks really creepy, similar to Hyde, and they've got them sort of vibes. It looks really good, and I'm sure I've read somewhere where the lone Cyberman, or one Cyberman, I don't know if it's the lone Cyberman, but I know that one Cyberman's gonna be in it somewhere. I think. Don't hold me to that, because I might be wrong, but I'm sure I read that like a few days ago. And then that'll then lead into the finale, Ascension of the Cybermen, and then the Timeless Children, which I'm very looking forward to. Right, I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully I'll see you in my next review. Bye.